After a long wait, after a long summer, the wait is finally over, and we finally have Mavericks basketball, and the first game of the preseason is already in the books. And although we did lose to the Memphis Grizzlies 121-116, there are a lot of good things to take away from this game. It looks like the Dallas Mavericks have stepped into a whole new era of basketball, and as we all know, we are trying to fight for a championship. And even though our starters are as good as they are, it's good to know that we have a lot of good deep bench players who can step up when the time comes. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what happened in tonight's game, what led to the loss, what could have led to a win, and what we can expect going forward. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we are currently sitting at 13,441 subscribers. We gained like 80 subs over the live stream today alone, which was amazing. I appreciate all you guys coming out to just show love and support to the first preseason game of the season. It was amazing. But we do have a goal of hitting 15,000 subs before the end of the year, and I think we can definitely hit that. So if you don't want to miss out on anything Mavericks related, the live streams, the giveaways, the watch-alongs, all the video content that I'm going to be bringing you guys, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But let's go ahead and talk about this game because it was amazing. From the opening tip all the way to the final buzzer, the Dallas Mavericks looked very good. Now, before anybody asks, no, Luka Doncic didn't play, Kyrie Irving didn't play, Klay Thompson didn't play, Maxey didn't play, Kessler Edwards didn't play, PJ Washington didn't play. We had a laundry list of players who weren't going to play. Effectively, it was just our second string and our third string players who played tonight, aside from Derrick Lively, who did get some run in the first half. And even though we did only lose by 5 points, the Dallas Mavericks looked very well. We already know what to expect from Luka, Klay, Kai, and all the other main guys that are going to get the bulk of the minutes. But this game really showed us what we have in that deep bench, that the amount of players that we can trust when things get rough and deep in the season, even deep in the playoffs. If we need a basket, we need a stop, we have the right personnel, and a lot of these guys shine tonight. So let's just go into the box score. I'm not going to go over the Memphis Grizzlies because a lot of players were played. We're going to be here all night. But if we take a look at what the Dallas Mavericks did tonight, you have Najee Marshall as a starter. He had 9 points. He had 1 turnover, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. He was 4 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3. He did a very good job of playing defense on Ja Morant. Did very good playmaking things. He was passing the ball, bringing the ball down. Najee looked like just a natural in that Dallas Mavericks jersey, playing alongside those other players. Daniel Gafford only played 10 minutes. He had 2 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. We already know Daniel Gafford's going to be fine. We didn't really need to see too much from him. Spencer Dinwiddie in 17 minutes had 4 points. He had 3 turnovers, but he also had 3 steals, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. He was 1 of 3 from 3 and 1 of 6 from the floor. Again, I'm not too worried about Spencer Dinwiddie. He's going to be with our second unit, and his main job is to just maintain, play, make, and facilitate, and I think that he can definitely do that for us. Quentin Grimes looked very good in the second quarter. He had about 8 points, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 0 of 3 from 3, but he was 3 of 8 from the floor. I think Quentin Grimes had a little bit of a game where he was knocking the rust off. There were moments where he looked like he couldn't get through the defense. He couldn't really make a play for himself. But there were also moments that just flashed for me with Quentin Grimes, where he did look good, able to just put the ball on the floor, attack the basket, and just have amazing moments in those short spurts. He only played about 22 minutes, and that was mainly in the first half. But Quentin Grimes and Najee Marshall both looked very well for the Dallas Mavericks. I was very impressed with their defense overall. Jaden Hardy played 34 minutes, and he looked pretty good. He definitely did improve over the summer. He had 21 points, led all scorers. He did have 4 turnovers, which is one of his biggest weaknesses, and it still seems like it's there. He played very reckless. His defense, in my opinion, his defense did look like it improved. He didn't look like a liability. Didn't quite look like a Derrick Jones Jr. or just a defensive anchor, but it was on par with just the rest of the team. And he made up for those 4 turnovers with 3 steals, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 6 of 10 from 3 and 3 of 4 from the free throw line when it felt like some of our guys really couldn't hit our free throws. And you could argue that was the reason why we lost the game. And then off the bench, you had Emmanuel Miller out of nowhere with 11 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Max, who looked a lot better in this game compared to the Summer League, compared to last season. You can see that he's really taken those steps to become the player that Jason Kidd needs him to be to help this team win a championship. And he finished the game with 14 points. He did have 4 personal fouls. He was playing very, very aggressive on defense, but I appreciate that versus just letting the other teams do whatever. So he had 4 fouls, but he had 3 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 0 of 3 from 3, but 4 of 12 from the floor, but he was 6 of 9 from the free throw line, so still there is room for improvement with Omax, and I do believe that he's just a year or two behind from really being an important piece to this team. I still believe in Omax. And of course, our man Dwight Powell, he got some run as well, had 8 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 2 rebounds, and D-Live looked really, really good. He didn't attempt a 3. However, he didn't miss a single shot. He didn't miss 2 free throws, but he was 5 of 5 from the floor. He had 12 points. He had 2 fouls, but he also had 2 steals, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Jamarian Sharp, 7'5", he looked pretty good too. No points. He did have 1 turnover, but he also had 2 blocks and 1 steal and 2 rebounds. AJ Lawson with 8 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds. And the man of the hour, in my opinion, Jazian Gortman, hope I'm saying his name right, Jazian Gortman, we were calling him Jazz Man on the live stream, had 20 points, only 1 turnover with 4 steals, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. He was 4 of 7 from 3. I think he made his first 4 threes just back to back, and then the next 3 he did miss later in the game, but he looked very good. He made all his free throws, 2 of 2. It was 7 of 13 from the floor. And if there's one word that I would use to just describe what our second and third unit looked like, it was just confident. It was something that I feel like most Mavs fans haven't seen from our deep bench players in a long time. Guys weren't hesitant to shoot the ball. They were passing the ball, making plays for other players. We had a lot of steals, had about 15 plus steals as a team. Everybody had active hands in the passing lane, and the team looked good. The real reason why we lost was free throws. We got out-rebounded by like 20 rebounds. And that's fine. The Memphis Grizzlies had all their players except for Jaren Jackson Jr. He didn't play, but they had Ja Morant, who did leave in the first half. He rolled his ankle, really bad play, so he didn't play for the remainder of the game. Zach Edey was kind of in and out. He looked pretty good too, but the Dallas Mavericks second and third unit almost beat an almost healthy Memphis Grizzlies. We only lost by about 5 points, and I can take that. Even though we lost, it didn't feel like a loss. It felt like we won more than we lost. We have players who are ready to help this team win a championship. It's one thing to have a star like Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, or Kyrie Irving. It's another thing to have guys on the bench that you can rely on a nightly basis to do all the things that you need. Lead the second unit, lead the offense, lead the defense, pick up the toughest assignment, which Najee Marshall was really putting those clamps on Ja Morant, and it was just a beautiful thing. But I got a few more things I definitely want you guys to look at. This right here, Jason Kidd had a lot to say after the game. We're going to look at a few things right here. But Jason Kidd on Jazian Gortman, saying Gortman's tough. I love what he did tonight. He was aggressive. He shot the ball extremely well. He got us organized and kept us organized. I love that I love that we picked him up. Again, he's not scared. The last rush spot is going to be interesting. And we're going to speak about that probably in a later video, where I'm starting to think maybe Markieff Morris doesn't need to be on the Dallas Mavericks. I know it's a hot take. We're not going to talk about Markieff Morris. He didn't play tonight. I don't think he was in the arena. He wasn't there yesterday for Fan Jam. But Jazian Gortman is on a 2-way contract, and he looked amazing. Confident when he shot the ball. He brought the ball down and facilitated. He played good defense. It's amazing to think that he's only 21 years old. Where has this kid been? Everybody is slowly turning to a fan of Jazian Gortman, and if you don't know who he is, you better get hip, because I truly believe he can be a key player for this team down the road. When you think about 3-4 years, when Klay's retired, when Kyrie's retired, when we've got guys that are young now but are more developed and ready to go, who's going to step up to the plate? Who's going to take on what Kyrie was doing? Who's going to take on what Klay was doing? Jazian Gortman could easily be one of those players. I know it's the first game. You don't want to get too hype. He had a good game, but there's a lot of good things that we saw from Jazian Gortman. But Jason Kidd does continue by saying Jason Kidd on Jaden Hardy's game, where he had 21 points, 9 assists tonight, saying he's making the right play. And so to be able to start, he had some good looks early. But what I like that he kept playing. His motor was high, but also I think his voice. He's out there talking. We all know he can score the ball, but he was making plays. And even with the turnovers, he was trying to make the right play. And I've been on the side of Jason Kidd needs to give Jaden Hardy the room to grow. And for a player like Jaden Hardy, who's a lot different from someone like Derrick Lively, where over the course of one season, he's turned into just an amazing player. But Jaden Hardy just needs that time to grow. He needs that room to grow. And you can't grow if you don't make mistakes. It was great that Jason Kidd, although it is just a preseason game, it was great that Jason Kidd didn't pull out Jaden Hardy when he was making those mistakes, those turnovers. In the first half, I think there were like 2 4-point plays that were caused because of Jaden Hardy being a little bit too reckless. He does have a high motor. He does play very fast. He can score the ball very well. He was 6 of 10 from 3. Jaden Hardy can do the right things, but if he makes mistakes and if he does the wrong things, you have to let him learn from those mistakes in the game, in the flow of the game, for him to just make up for it and make the right play, which he did a lot of the times tonight down the stretch. He was setting guys up, giving the extra pass to another man for a better shot. Jaden Hardy has all the tools to be a very, very useful player on this team. Only time will tell, and if Jason Kidd continues to give him the minutes and the room to grow, I believe that Jaden Hardy really has a spot on this team. But tonight we're going to do something a little bit different because I want to introduce a new segment where we highlight a player who I think was, in a way, a player of the game, but we're going to call it Who Really Stood on Business. And in my opinion, the player who was really standing on business was that man, Jaden Hardy. Like I said, a player that is on a two-way contract, who's going to spend a lot of time in the G League, a lot of time on the end of the bench, looked phenomenal. I was at Fan Jam yesterday, and I noticed he was hitting a lot of his threes. He was just shooting the ball very well. So how did that translate to tonight? Well, let's take a look at his stats right here. Jaden Hardy tonight had 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. He shot 57% from 3. Sign Gort. And like Jason Kidd said, that last roster spot is going to be very tough. Do we keep Markieff Morris? Do we let him go and sign Jaden Hardy? Regardless of what this team does, Jaden Hardy deserves to be on the Mavericks in some capacity. Whether he's the last man we sign, whether we stash him in the G League, I truly believe, and I don't want to just make something big over just one game, I truly believe he has something special that can help this team down the road. Once when Clay and Kyrie are retired, like I said, we're going to have a lot of players who are going to be more developed and ready to go. And I think Jaden Hardy is definitely that player. And if we just take a look right here, I mean, look, Jaden Hardy playing so good tonight, ESPN mixed him up with Luka. He was playing like him, playmaking, shooting the 3-ball, just able to attack the basket, then kick it out to an open man. Jaden Hardy was everywhere doing everything. And the last thing that we're definitely going to take a look at right here is that Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson will most likely play in the final 3 preseason games, according to Jason Kidd. Like I said, there was a laundry list of players who weren't available today, mainly due to rest. If you have a championship contending team, you don't really need to play everybody every single game. It is just preseason. So I like how this game was more so for the bench guys to get their reps and to really show Jason Kidd what they can offer. And like I said, Jaden Hardy, you were staying on business. You get it tonight. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you also think that Jaden Hardy was staying on business, or you think someone else deserves it? Let me know in the comment section. We could have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We're doing our giveaways next week. The only way to become a member of the channel, or the only way to enter our giveaways, is to become a member of the channel. It's late, guys. I got to go to bed. Make sure you drink water. We'll be back on Thursday for another live stream. Make sure you don't miss it. Peace.